So I have two cameras set up. So I have this one and I have that one. And this one is up close. You're here. So I need to make this work and reboard. So here's the thing. Today I want to speak about metadata of a song, because I think today and yesterday I made two videos. It was live videos for TikTok. And the thing with TikTok is that the videos are thing, once into the live video stops, then it's game over. House and next into you for the highlights and all that. So you cannot say use it later or refer to people who know, man, I did that video, then check it out and what and all that. So Mavana spoke about how to submit your music to radio stations. And while doing that, because part of submitting to radio stations, you need to get metadata, which is what I want to talk about today. And there's an article that I saw today. I don't know why I saw it today, because stories are 5 years ago, where in safe to say 5 years ago. 5 years ago, 6 April 2021. TikTok, le Samro, le Capasso. So Capasso ke Composers, Authors, Publishers Association of South Africa. There's no SA, but yeah, it's a South African company. And Samro, which is South Africa Music Rights Organization. They went to partnership with TikTok for the songs that are playing on TikTok platform, and that people are using for their challenges, knowledge dance challenges and all that. So they've noticed there's a lot of Africans who are doing content or who are doing the challenges, and they're using obviously African songs. The biggest example, Nelly Jerusalem, that went crazy 2020. Almost everybody across the globe did Jerusalem dance. And I think because I have the article open here, so Jerusalem that year had over 20 over 1 billion views. So with this partnership, they wanted to say with African countries, they say 58 African countries with their repertoires will be able to benefit from here. But as far as I know, there's only 54 countries. But Africa now and then, by divide, there were 53, then 54 South Sudan, and probably there's other divisions, because I had learners into there's other Sudans that wants to come out. But anyway, that's a different topic altogether. So your Capasso handles composition rights, the writers, the people who compose the songs and all that. So they're in the game because of that. And you have Samro who do the other side, the other royalties that are due to artists. So there's another thing when I read it, kind of like disturbed me, and which was the issue of there's a lot of there are millions, because I think already they paid 50 million, actually I think it's 50 billion to royalties on, no, it can't be 50 billion, it was 50 million that they paid on royalties to dance challenges that are happening on TikTok. But there still has a lot of millions that they cannot pay, because they cannot trace those songs to a particular person or to a particular recording label. Hence why for Norman, even though I did a video about metadata, let me do another video about metadata, because I did a video already today Guyana live. So now I'm doing this one for other platforms. So what's a metadata of a song? So a metadata is or data. It's basically into information of the song that attached to a song. That tells the platforms, or tells the organizations, the CMOs, you're collecting societies like your Samros, your Capasso, BMG in the US, and so on, for the song Kiamang and all that, and even the DJs into which song is this, the name of the song. So okay, so your basic metadata, again, the title of the song, the person who sorry, excuse me, but the artist. So sometimes you have an artist name, like myself. I don't use I have my ID name, then interested in that, and your stage name. So your features of the song, the type of genre, when the song was released, and let me open my. So what I do is, before I submit this music to radio stations, I have a file. The file, I think, it has everything that's concerning the song. If you're involved in video editing, then this is not strange to you. They call it assets. So in your asset file, it's the music, it's the videos, it's the photos, got everything that's concerning that video that you were doing, and the transitions and what. So it's the same concept now. In this one, you'll have your song, you'll have the name of the LP, the artwork. Oh, I was opening that, something just distracted me there. So now I have my assets. Yeah, so I released the song last year in September, Utando. So in that file, so I created the asset file for Utando. So in that file, I have my bio, and I have the artwork of the album. So I have the MP3 and the WAV file, and because I'll be releasing some of the songs, I'll be sending to DJs, and some of the songs I'll be sending to radio stations. So I have what is called MP3, which is your radio friendly song. So if like hip hop, usually hip hop uses a lot of vulgar, and of course into radio won't play the songs with vulgar in them. So you'll have to have a radio friendly song which doesn't have vulgar. And today radio friendly includes you don't make homophobic comments, you don't make body shaming and all that. If you have those type of songs, clearly the radio won't accept those. So I have in this file what's known as long play, or LP. So LP is long play. Now we call them DJ songs. So they have long intros and they have long outros for them to be able to transition from one song to the other with ease. But if you have a long your LP and you submit it to radio is not going to play it. So because you have to understand what radio is and which industry industry radio is. So a radio and TV, they're basically your advertising agency. So they go to companies, to people who needs airtime to advertise the products, to advertise whatever they're selling. And they would say, okay, if you want to advertise on my radio station, on my TV shows, I have so many millions people or so many thousands of listeners who listens to my radio station. So because I have so many listeners, you can pay me so much for 30 seconds. I was actually looking at there's a radio station in Val, maybe it's a motel today. I saw their pricing for their slots. So I think for 30 seconds they were saying about 1,500 if you're gonna advertise on Motel. And if you're gonna advertise on Metro FM, 5FM, those big radio stations, you better know for a prime time for 30 seconds you're gonna pay 50,000, 60,000. Ukozi FM is the biggest radio station in South Africa. I think they have over 10 million listeners. So 30 seconds on their drive shows in the morning, actually drive shows in the afternoon, their breakfast shows and their drive time, just be willing to pay over 100,000 for 30 seconds. So they have something. So that's what radio and TV do. They are advertising agencies. So, but the clever thing that they do is that they go and find content. I know everybody now is a content creator, but TV and radio is the oldest. They've been creating content forever. Every show that you see on TV or every show that you hear on radio, it's basically content creation. They come and they know, okay, people, if I create this type of content, people will listen to our radio station, people will watch our TV, and while you're watching that content, the slide, the advertisement in between, it's the same script that Facebook is using. So while all of them actually, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, while you're watching your TikTok, then there's an ad coming. While you're watching your TikTok, YouTube is notorious about this. So while you're watching, then the ad comes up, then you have to wait. At one point, we used to wait 3 seconds. Now it's almost like you have to wait 10 seconds. You're bound to watch that. But they force you to watch that because they know they accepted money from that company already. So going back to radio and TV. So when they take your music, they're taking it from that point of view. Or no, man, our demographic, if I play this type of song, it's going to entertain them, they're going to like it. So hence why you'll have, there's a classic FM, more one of SABC radio stations. So they know people who appreciate classic, they will gravitate to those radio stations. And people who listen to YFM it's one of the weirdest things is that you can listen to other radio stations, but when you get to YFM, it's almost like the volume goes up, then you pass, then it goes down. But that's the demographic they are saving. They know what they are saving YFM into FM station. So when you submit your songs, to be cognizant of who is the radio station is serving. And if I'm going to send a 7-minute song in a 1-minute intro, it's not gonna work because but now into the selling time, if we know you're gonna take 1 minute just to get to the point, they're not gonna consider it unless there are certain songs where you can ignore, and it gets to a point where you cannot ignore them. I think Sister Bettina is one of those songs where at first people are just making fun of it. Now it's considered into national anthem of South Africa. I've seen it, look at rugby matches now, they play Sister Bettina. And the same thing, like Nkalakata. Nkalakata was a typical Kwaito song. And I suppose when at the planning stages of Korea, we're gonna to submit to Blaque stations because they appreciate the quiet and all that. Then Kalakata just changed and white people started appreciating Kalakata, and because of that they start playing Kobo, 5FM and every other radio stations that you wouldn't typically expect to hear a quiet artist. And you won't hear other Kwaito artists in J. That's that one. So yes, if your song is that big, then they can waiver and certain things to accommodate you. But for the rest of us, just know if it's a hip hop radio station, they're not gonna play your house song. If it's a house, like Radio 2000 doesn't play any song that's younger than 2 years. They want old school. So if you are a new artist in the Radio 2000 is not, you're not target market. They are not your target market. So going back to metadata, so it's the details of the song. So the song title. So I'm looking at this folder Utando. So I know it's the song, the name Utando. The artist name it's myself, Ernesto Blaque, and featuring Shaila. And we have the composers, the guys who composed the song. So which is myself, which is Shaila, which is Sandile. Sandile came with the trumpet and just blew everything into place. And it was Piwe, that's Piquet. So Piquet, he contributed a lot on the song, so he's there. And I have Samro. I have a Samro member number, and they also, Samro has IPI, which you can give them IPI number. Actually, if you are going to be featured into when somebody say, hey man, give me your information, just give them your IPI number, and they'll be able to track you for, okay, Ernesto Blaque was there on that song. And Sampra as well, I'm a member of Sampra, so radio stations would want to have that. And this is the next one, is what is known as ISRC code. Actually, I tend to forget what does it stands for. I know what it is, I know what it does, but let me just Google quickly. So it's an international standard recording code. So which is literally the ID number of the song. So every time, so RISA in South Africa, Recording Industry South Africa, issued the ISRC code. So I have one. So I have two. So because when I started as a single artist, so I got one for myself. Then later on, when I had into a recording label, I have one for a recording label. So, but I can use either or, but most of the time I use my personal one. So I think it's a 15-digit number. Yeah, 15-digit number. So it starts with ZA is South Africa, so if it's a US artist, it will start as US. If it's a kind of Britannic in UK, it will start as UK something. Then the next 3 digits with me, it's P35. So P35, that's me. So any song that's from South Africa, ZA P35, you know, I'm featured on that song, or that's my song. I hardly use my label one, so I don't know it well. So they also you're gonna put this on the song, and you can put it on your video. With the video as well, it's similar setup, but you can tell, okay, that one is for a video, okay, this one is for an audio. Then after that, the next digits get the year of the release of the song. So with this one was released last year, so it's 25. So it's 2025. And the next 5 digits, it's the digit number of the song. So this one, so if let's say like now, you're gonna release a song, it's the first song that you're gonna release now. So it's gonna be 00001. It's the first song for the year. 00002, that's your second song. So if you are doing the whole album, I suppose you'll do the whole list of the songs that are in that album. And I want something. So with this type of setup, I suppose you can release 10,000 songs in a year. realistically, if you're gonna follow that. I don't know if people are releasing more than that. I suppose I doubt there's somebody who released more than 10,000 songs. Hey, but at the rate at Mapori Sale Kabza they were going cutting. Hey, yeah, that number for them was maybe 5,000. Well, that's exaggeration, but yeah, they were pushing it. They were really going for it. So I have a publisher. I have a publisher, and I would advise you to get one. So a publisher, it's somebody who their job is to find job for your song. It's grammatically wrong, but it sounds right. So basically, you would give them a song and they'll listen to it, and obviously listen. It's a sad song, it's a happy song, it's a love song, it's a fast song, and all that. And they'll go and pitch it to different companies. They'll pitch it to your movies to get featured. I don't know if you've noticed, most South African movies in general just playing all the songs that are big and then put it in the songs. But with US, for instance, when you have a sad scene, they will play a sad song. You'll have a love making scene. They'll have, those your typical songs that your soul DJs will be playing. So that's the job, yeah, Anton. So they will go and pitch to them, or I've got this song. I think it will work well for your movie. I think this song, and they'll go to the agencies, or yeah, guys, I know Vodacom, MTN, Cell C, Coca-Cola, those type of companies. When it goes to summer, they know where they go big. So if there's a song already that's talking about summer, it's a good starting point. Or this song, you don't have to go, let's see this camera, it's finished. And yeah, they will go and then pitch okay, we have a song that will fit what you're trying to do, and they'll pitch it everywhere else. Some publishers to find job for your song, and they'll find it to different areas, but that's what all they do. So I have a publisher, I have somebody who does that for me, and you have recording label, which is my recording label. So that's what I would have in this in the folder, my asset folder. The other thing that I didn't mention, I will have a EPK. So EPK is electronic press release, and a press release is basically I think a lot of companies, if they want to, even the government does that, if they want to address a certain issue, they will release a press release to newspapers, to news agencies, and all that. Okay, so this is what we're doing, and they'll release it and tell them. And the news agencies, of course, they will do, if they feel like there's questions that they need to ask and find more clarity, they will call, let's use the government, for instance. They'll call the government, okay, we see, or presidency, we see that you released this thing, so what does this mean, and then can we have a press conference? And by the time they have the press conference, they know already what the president wants to say, and they themselves are prepared to say, these are the questions or follow-up questions that we want to ask regarding to this press kit that you really, or press that you released. So how does it work for a musician? So when a musician has an album coming out, you would want to have a press release ready. So it will talk about the release date, it will talk about if you have shows that you planned. So it's literally the whole story that revolves around that song or that album. And I don't know if you have noticed, Beyonce, when Beyonce does an album, he or she has a theme, like the entire album has a theme. At one point where she was crying, she had Lemonade, and most songs in that Lemonade, they're actually heartbreaking. There's one or two which is kind of like dance, because she's a pop. She has to have a popular song that people will dance to. But everything was sulking around that. And last year, was it last year or the year before, she released a country song, a country album. And so because it has a theme, and I read part of it where she was talking about, no, actually country, because now today we know country as a white music or white dominated genre, genre with Dolly Parton. She was like, no, actually black people are the ones who started country, and eventually white people took it over, and hence why she had to do it, kind of like bring it back to home. So that will be part of a press release. So it's called EPK now because it's electronic. So you put your electronic press release kit in this folder. And the next thing that I wanna touch, it's music submission. You submit your music to radio stations. It's kind of like it's an art now. Before, really what you did was just take a song, you take your LP, you take your CD, and you send it to radio stations. If they like the song, they will play it. And I think as well, because everything changes with era and all that, there were times where radio station would be fighting, well, yeah, we want to break this, we want to be first people to play the radio station. Hey, today, if you don't have money for cold drink, hey, forget about that one. And there's something called payola, which is basically that, where you give money to the cold drink. In South Africa, we understand it as cold drink. So if you got a cold drink, or payola as fancy word for it, your song won't get played. So that's why it's almost like an art. So, but forgetting and putting this payola aside, so what you need to do, firstly, you need to sort out your metadata, which is what we spoke about now. And the next thing, you need to go and find the music compilers. Your music compiler is basically the guy who compiles the music for the radio station. They also would do for shows, because with big radio stations like Metro FM, like Wokosi FM, every show is different. So when you compile the music for radio station, you just not compiling music that it has away, that's just small thing. I mean, radios, they play the whole everything that's on the plate, so they consider that. So you need to know who's the compiler for that radio station. 90% of the time, if you type, for instance, music@yfm.co.za, it will get there. music@metrofm.co.za, it will get there. But what SABC has done recently is that there's music submission.sabc.co.za/music submit. Okay, let me call it again. Music submission.sabc.co.za/music. Why do I call this wrong? One more time. Music submission.sabc.co.za/submit-music-single. Then it's gonna bring you to this platform where you can submit music to online for SABC radios, which are still your majority radio station. And you can actually even choose which radio stations. Let me see. Yeah, you can see Lotus, that Lotus Gate, the Indian radio station, your Metro FM, True FM. I think True FM is in PE, and Lesedi and all that. I don't know why they have SAFM, because okay, they own SAFM, but SAFM doesn't play music. So you can choose according to which radio station you want to pitch your music to. So in this one, you can do single upload, you can do bulk. If you have an album, you can upload the whole album on this one. So there's a song title, artist, producer, the label, the ISRC codes, the composer, the publisher, the author, the country of release, the language. Then you can, I think I mentioned earlier on, in my asset file, I have MP3 and I have WAV file. So there are some radio stations that would say, I want MP3s, because MP3s is a small file. It's a compressed version of an audio file. So you can have it 5 megs. Some radio stations they'll give you a size, and I don't want anything beyond 15 megs. It could include your asset file, file. It shouldn't include that. It shouldn't be more than that. So I see here you can send MP3, or you can say WAV file. WAV file, it's an uncompressed file, which my one it's about, for Otan, it's a 5-minute song, and it's 97 megs. It's almost 100 megs file. So it's because it's that big, clarity and quality wise, it's much better. Sometimes even listen to them, you couldn't tell the difference, but you can't fool an ear. So sometimes when you listen to it, you would gravitate to one more than other. And when somebody asks you, like, this one get quality, how's the quality? You can't explain it, but it's that. So yes, you can choose the genre, you can choose the radio station that you want the song to be played. Featured artist, arranger, they want to know who arranged the song. And YFM, it's similar. You can submit on yfm.co.za/submit music, and it will bring up the same thing, the name, your ID name, your email address, contact details, the artist, the song, the composer, SAMRO, publisher, record label, ISRC codes, genre. And these ones, they don't want MP3, they want a link. So they have a WeTransfer and drop link. WeTransfer expire after 3 days, so drop link will be better. And last year I submitted to Ukhozi FM. So Ukhozi FM is the biggest radio station in South Africa. It has over 10 million listeners, and it's a Zulu radio station. So because of that, everybody would want the song to play on Ukhozi. When your song has made it on Ukhozi FM, just know you've made it. So now, because almost everything's almost like politicized, if you look at Zulu radio station support the Zulu people, artists, your Xhosa will support Xhosa artists, and all your vendors will support the thing. But yeah, it is what it is. That's not a complaint, but that's what it is. So when I submitted to Ukhozi FM, they told me for a waiting period, it's 8 weeks. That's basically 2 months. But I mean, it's understandable as well. They're getting tons and tons and tons of submissions daily. So but they haven't turned around like that. So bo Kaya FM, typically bo YFM, turnaround time ki 4 weeks. And if you don't hear them from them in 4 weeks, it means it's not successful. But you can still send. I send and send and send and send and send until something happens. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about a bit, these codes and the importance of them. And after I saw actually Twitter has partnered a lot of CMO organization, more Africa collecting organizations in Africa, targeting they want not only the song just to trend or just to have the challenges and it doesn't benefit the artist in any way. So now they made an initiative for no, you know what, we want to partner with these associations, societies, however you want to call them, organizations, but even after they did that, they still cannot distribute all the money because the metadata, some artists is not up to date. So even here in South Africa, I know Samro has a lot of money, has millions and millions of money that even Sampra, they have millions that they need to distribute, but they cannot distribute because they don't have details of the people who are involved. Sampra also pays what's known as needle time. And needle time are rights that are the artists who were in the studio. You know, when session artists, your pianist, guitarist, your vocalist, your backing vocalist, if you have the choir, if you wanna have that choral feel, those type of people, they pay needle time and the money goes to those people. So they will collect and collect and collect and collect, and if they don't know when you are that vocalist, actually when saying this, I'm thinking about Michael Jackson's song Liberian Girl, the introduction on that song. It's done by Mama Leta Mbuli. It's in Swahili. And so every time that song plays, for that intro, Mama Leta Mbuli, what did I say, Elon? I think I butchered this name. If I did, I'm sorry about that. Leta Mbuli, she did the intro on Michael Jackson's Liberian Girl. So there are some people who even featured in that sense of what you're not singing, you're not doing, you just that person who say yeah, oh the song, and you're thinking you didn't do much for that, yeah, you're getting paid for that. So yeah, let's get our metadata sorted. And I also wanted to, I think I will keep, because I'll give to the email address of the music compilers from to different radio stations. But like I said before, if you say music at radiostation.co.za, you have 99% chance of going through. And this is what I do. I spoke about the 1 year SABC. I did that one. I chose radio station Thobela FM, Phala Lesedi. And after that, I went to music at Lesedi, music at Motsweding, music at Metro FM. And yeah. If what I deleted, I'll delete this time. So after the 10th time, 100th time, it will go through. Unfortunately, it is what it is. But that's when you are targeting radio. But just know what it, and yeah, this is the important thing. Just know what it, because now everything is shifting. How we consume music is shifting. It's no longer the CDs that people will buy CDs and enjoy the song. We mamele, you know. Everybody now, you go on Spotify, you go on Google, YouTube, YT Music, and now even what we're talking about, Yamo TikTok, the more people use your song, that's actually a form of payment that in the future would feature more than what we know now. So for radio is your song or not, people, if are doing challenges that will surpass radio. So cheers, Buffet.